Hey everyone, welcome to this week's live in the Restora Funding Facebook community. We really focus on 0% interest business funding for real estate investors or business owners, really, of any industry this could work for. So if you're new here, I think we've had like almost 100 new members join this week, which is super, super exciting. And we also just today hit over 1,500 members in our Facebook community. So if you're new here, that's what we're all about. If you're a day one member, thanks for being here on today's live stream. You've probably been on quite a few by now. We do this every single Wednesday at 7 p.m. Eastern time. And the goal of these live streams is to share with you the secrets of getting business funding. Okay, so my name is Xavier Baudet. I'm a co-owner of Restora Funding with Sophia Logan. We run this Facebook community solely for you and to cultivate a strong environment for our business and to provide value to members of our community. And in today's live stream, what we're going to be talking about is the secret to finding banking data. Okay, so I'm going to explain a little bit more about what I mean by that. Before I do, just to kind of get to know some of the members who are watching this, go ahead and drop down in the comments what you do for business. All right, I'd love to know if you're like a real estate investor. If so, what are you doing? Are you doing short-term rental arbitrage, fix and flipping? If you own a business, what is your business about? I know we've got some like marketing agencies in this group and such. Go ahead and drop that in the comments just so I can get to know some of the members of this community. And while you do that, I'll pretend to sip this water right here. OnlyFans. Nice, Bobby. Sophia, e-commerce. This is day one. Real estate investing. Love it. Yeah, we got a lot of real estate investors in this group. Hey, Ramsey, good to see you here. Welcome. Awesome. Awesome. So basically, to jump into the main topic of the live stream today, what we want to do is talk about geographical locations. Okay, so every bank has a geographical footprint. Basically, that just means the state that you're in or the state that your business is registered in. For example, I'm based in California. One of my favorite banks is Truist Bank right now. They're not in California, right? So they're good for our funding clients who are based on like the Eastern Coast and other states just in the Mid East. But for me here in California, I don't get to apply at Truist because it's not in my footprint. So what I want to do today is actually talk about how you can find banks that are specific to your banking footprint. And what I want to do is show you a resource that's going to tell you pretty much every single bank or credit union in the United States. It's going to tell you how to find banks in your footprint. It's going to give you all the details, like literally balance sheets, information on based on their like past year's tax returns, things like that, their lending, credit cards, like everything. I mean, this database is absolutely insane. So for those of you who are looking to become a student of the funding game or are just trying to start learning about banks in your realm that you can apply at, this is how you want to do it. So without further ado, let's just jump right in. I'm going to give a little presentation here for you today, and this is going to be on a website called ibanknet.com. So let me just share my screen here. All right. ibanknet.com. Can you all see this? Great. Now, ibanknet.com is basically a massive database that's going to tell you everything you need to know. And you can see here at the homepage, what we're looking at is banks. So over here, if you just click banks, it's going to actually show financial reports of leading banks. The following is a list of the leading banks by assets. And this is of the top 100 banks of the United States. Okay. So at first glance, what I want you to think about here, and this is what I would do personally if I were looking for funding, like right here, right now, look at the biggest banks. Chase, B of A, Wells Fargo, we got Citibank, US Bank, PNC. These banks are everywhere. These banks are like almost all national. PNC is in almost every state, right? So the national banks are pretty much the classics. These are the easiest ones for you to tap into and start looking for business funding, whether that's 0% interest business credit cards, whether that's lending for real estate, whether that is line of credit, right? Equipment loans, anything. Look at the big banks. And the reason why I recommend this, at least to start, is because these banks have the most deposits and the highest number of assets. So we see here Bank of America literally has, I mean, what is this? Like over 2 billion assets, right? Or deposits, I mean. So basically, they got a lot of money. And the more money you have, the more money you can lend out. So this is true to some extent. Some banks are going to be more strict on lending. For example, Wells Fargo traditionally can be strict on lending if you don't have a relationship. But what I want you to do is just start becoming a student of the game, right? Bank of America, we can see here, it was opened in 1904, blah, 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 bunch of miscellaneous information. We could see their total assets as far as a balance sheet goes. And this is up to date, by the way. Total liabilities, domestic deposits, I mean, quarterly averages on things, total interest income, everything and anything you could possibly need on Bank of America or any bank or credit union for that matter is in this database. So let's just poke around a little bit. We're going to go to financial reports, assets, liabilities. I mean, you can find the proof right here in the pudding, right? Let's go to loans to small businesses and small firms. Now let's look at loans right here. Number and amount currently outstanding of commercial and industrial loans to U.S. addresses and domestic offices reported in their Schedule RCC, Part 1. So we can see that the number of original loan amounts of $100,000 or less, like the number of loans that they've given out in that bracket, is almost 2.5 million. Okay. And this is just within this time frame up here, by the way. So like a month, right? So they're a big bank, right? And we know that they're giving out loans. There's a lot of loans they're giving out of less than $100,000. We can see the breakdown of $100,000 to $250,000. They've given out 95.9 thousand, so almost 100,000 loans in this bracket, 100,000 to 250,000 in size in the past month, right? So they're heavy on giving out loans right now. You can also see the amount that they have outstanding. So out of this 2.5 million in loans under 100K, they have outstanding about 25 and a half, a little over $25.5 million that they've given out, right? So they are pumping out loans. We know that. We can see it right here. So just play around with this. Start to get to know the top 100 banks. These are, I mean, this is probably the most simple start you're going to get with learning the funding game. PNC is great. Truist is great. TD Bank is great. All these banks are great starting points because they're big, right? They're big and they make moves and they have a lot of money to give out. Now let's poke around into credit unions. Pretty much the same thing. I think this is, yeah, top 100 credit unions. We can see Navy Federal just absolutely blows every other credit union out of the water in terms of deposits and assets. No surprise to that. We all know who Navy Federal is. Let's dig around a little bit here. Yeah, total number of loans, almost 8 million here. Go to financial reports. Now, what's kind of cool with the credit unions is if you go to loans and supplemental information, you can actually see unsecured credit card loans and you can see the interest rate they give out. So Navy Federal is giving out interest rates on credit cards for an 18% APR. So you don't need to contact the bank to find this kind of information. I mean, you can. That might be the long way of doing it though, and you have access to a database like this. You can see the number of loans that they've given out in this period. This is a little over a month and a half here, given out 4.5 million. Yeah. Navy Federal is a wonderful credit union to tap into if you're looking for credit cards or honestly for like anything. We can go to State Employees Credit Union. This is literally the second largest credit union, and we can see that by the numbers. We could see that they're doing credit cards for 14% APR, so a bit cheaper than Navy Federal. Yeah, just play around with this kind of stuff. You know, read through it, get a feel for like what these banks and credit unions are all about, and that's how you're going to start learning with the bank branch locator. Now, I'm going to grab my water here for a second, take a sip, and in the meantime, I'll play a little game with everyone watching. If you want to go ahead and just drop the state that your business is registered in, I'm going to go ahead and find some banks at credit unions that you can start looking into to apply at today. Okay. So drop that state down below that your business is registered in. And I'm going to stop the screen share for a second. Check out what y'all are saying. Florida, awesome. We got Florida, we got Delaware, we got Minnesota and Wyoming. Hmm. Oil field, nice, Ramsey. That's a new one. All right, let's check out Florida and Delaware to start. Go back here. So ibanknet.com, pretty simple. I'll go ahead and drop that in the comments as well after this live. But if we go to the bank map, that's what you want to click. This is where it gets really fun. Okay. So let's go into I'll start with Delaware. Delaware got a bunch of banks, got some credit unions here. Let's go ahead and look at banks. PNC, of course, TD, of course, Discover. Yeah, so a lot of the big banks are going to be here. Wells Fargo, right? US Bank. What you can start doing is literally just go here, click your state, boom. Here's a list of a ton of banks that you can literally apply at today. I mean, it might be past banking hours, but starting tomorrow, you can look into these banks, Santander, Discover, Place, ED, US Bank, and you can start finding lending products. So here, I'll give you an example. Let's check out Applied Bank. I don't know what that is. That's a new one. Let's just look into that. Let's see what they got. Delaware's #1 rated bank. Okay. Now, if you go to business, you can go to commercial lending. Let's see if we can find anything good here. Commercial real estate. So they're literally lending loans for permanent and construction loans. Yeah, all kinds of financing for real estate, builder financing, building financing. Awesome. Literally contact us. So if you want to start a conversation with like a loan officer or someone who can help you out with this kind of thing, this is exactly how you do it. Just find the banks in your state, give them a quick Google search. Not too hard. You just got to put in the work. Let's look at the Comenity Bank right here in Delaware. Credit card specialization. So they're big on credit cards, it looks like. Let's see. Comenity Bank. Bread Financial. Interesting. I wonder if this is like a white labeled credit card service. Credit card servicer. The Comenity MasterCard credit card. Let's see if we can find a business product. Let's go to Santander. Small business lending, Santander Bank. You can apply for a small business line of credit, term loans, commercial real estate loans, equipment and vehicle financing. They got all kinds of stuff here. This loan is great for short-term working capital and financing needs. They give you the size of the loan, origination fees. Yeah, this is cool. Santander's great. I mean, it's all up front right here. Collateral requirements, they'll do unsecured, up to 80% loan to value for real estate loans. Okay. Awesome. So do a little bit of digging on Delaware. Let's go ahead and play with Florida. There's a lot in Florida. Let's check out credit unions. Let's go to credit unions in Florida. We got Suncoast Credit Union. Let's see what we got for Suncoast. Suncoast is super popular actually out there as well. Probably heard of it. Loans and credit cards. Let's look at business credit cards for Suncoast. Okay, become a member to apply. I get it. So the Business Platinum Visa, low fixed APR for operating expenses, up to $50,000. zero annual fee. They literally give you up to $50,000, which is awesome, by the way. A lot of credit cards, credit unions and banks only do up to 25K. You can check out some banks real quick. South State. So South State, I'm going to tell you something interesting about South State. Give me 1 second. I want to show you this actually. South State Bank. Come on. Borrow. Small business. There we go. Credit cards. So South State Bank is see they have the Visa Platinum, low introductory rate, the Visa rewards and all this. Contact a banker. South State Bank is actually owned by a third-party institution called Elon Financial. Okay, and Elon Financial owns like a ton of these banks, Ameris, Mechanics. A lot of the time they're offering 0% for 18 months business credit cards. You're going to see those. Basically, Elon Financial is an underwriting institution that is white labeled by a bunch of other banks. So Elon Financial, a leading payments partner, outsourced credit card program to banks and credit unions, right? So South State Bank doesn't even really do their own underwriting, at least not to my knowledge. They're going to be white labeled Elon Financial cards. And so cards like this, the Real Rewards, Smart Business Rewards, the Visa Platinum, they're all kind of under this umbrella institution called Elon Financial. And you can look into Elon Financial and see what banks they have. There's a lot of them. They're all over the United States. So this is just some examples. Pretty much any state you're in, you can go ahead and tap into ibanknet.com. And from there, you're going to be able to find all kinds of banks in your state. I mean, if you're really serious about like getting funding and you want to spend some time on this, Florida, I mean, look at all of these banks you have in Florida. Florida is one of the best states to foreign file your business in because there's so much economy there. There's so many banks there. There's tons of business owners there. There's a lot of new money there right now. It's just pumping. Honestly, a lot of these banks up along the Eastern Coast too are super, super good. So yeah, check it out, ibanknet.com. That's pretty much all I got for you here today. I just wanted to do a quick video going over a resource that you can add to your tool belt to help you with getting funding. Okay, so just do the work, do your research, look up your state, start finding banks in your state, contact those banks, ask them what their lending requirements are, their credit requirements, ask them what kind of businesses and industries they lend to, especially for you real estate investors. This is super, super important to ask the banks, if they lend to real estate. And this is how you're going to start planting the seeds of having success and finding the right contacts of who's going to lend to you. Okay. So if you have any questions, I think I saw some down there in the comments. Go ahead and just drop those in the comments. I'm going to start commenting back and answering those right now. Other than that, you all know the deal. Me and Sophia, literally Facebook community members only, we're getting you up to $150,000 in 0% interest business funding. Literally every day, we're getting people approved. So if that's something you want expedited for you and done for you as a completely hands-off service, drop the word funding down in the comments of this video. I'll reach out to you personally and we'll talk about getting you started. Okay. We actually use ibanknet.com quite often as well to help build funding roadmaps for our clients when we're starting to move out of the territory of our classic banks that we like to work with. So this is a very real tool that you can use to your advantage. Anyway, thanks everyone for showing up this week. I'll see you next week. Bye.